On the balance of the game, United probably deserved the win. Newcastle could argue that the chances they had, well, Newcastle had probably more clear-cut chances than Manchester United, but their lack of quality in the final third, their lack of decision-making, good decision-making and finishing has cost them today. United have won their final home game of the season. I don't know if that changes anything. Let me just see the Premier League. Let's look at the Premier League table. Okay, let's look at the league table. So we are, yeah, Man United 3, we are 8th. I mean, Newcastle are still ahead of us. -3 goal difference. I can't believe, yeah, you're telling me this Manchester United team have a -3, a -3 goal difference. Listen, -3 goal difference going into the last game of the season. Same, so we've got same points as Newcastle. What's Newcastle's next game? Newcastle's final game is against Brentford. All right. So Newcastle will probably beat Brentford, which means Man United will probably finish in 8th. This has been, since I've been a Man United fan, which is all my life, the worst Premier League season that I've seen. I think this is the worst well, I think statistically, they said this is the worst Premier League season since the 70s. Since the 70s. And I don't feel that there's enough pressure on this manager. And I'm hearing people calling me saying, but Fergie finished this and Fergie finished that. No, you don't go from finishing third with the exact same players in the first season to finishing 8th, -3 goal difference in your second. You don't go backwards this much in your second season. Let's see. Let me read some messages from the group chat. Man United deserve to win from Orhan. Yeah, I agree. I agree. We did deserve to win. I think on the flip side, Newcastle had enough opportunities to win this game. And if you're going to balance the opportunities, Newcastle could argue they deserve to win. But we know what football's like, right? We know football. If you don't take your chances, then you don't score. And you got no one to blame but yourself. And United took their chances. So I'm glad we won the game. Alpha Eagle, man. Thank you for joining, Alpha Eagle. Yeah, man. Thank you for joining, bro. Bruno, man of the match for you. I hear that. I hear that. I hear why. I understand why you say Bruno was the man of the match. But I want to ask you why. Why was he man of the match? Because I told you something. Ahmad today was the man of the match for me. Ahmad Diallo, for me today, was the guy. And I think Ahmad had what? 1 goal, 1 assist. Yeah, Bruno had a decent game today, but for me, he was not the man of the match. I think Ahmad was. Um, but yeah, I don't understand why. For me, there should be more pressure. Maybe it's my perspective. Maybe I'm not seeing it properly, but I don't think there's enough pressure on the manager. I think there needs to be more pressure on this manager. Like I said, the worst league finish in like 50 years. The manager's had Amad Diallo at his disposal since December, and he's not decided to play him until now. So you have to ask the question, why? He's been persistent with Anthony's, persistent with Garnacho. Garnacho in his first season has played over 35 times or has definitely over 30 starts. That should never happen. It shouldn't happen. One, I don't think he's good enough, and two, even if he was good enough, he's a young talent, so you don't play him so many times. I think we've overplayed the guy, overplayed him. But it is what it is. Kobe scored a good goal today. I enjoyed Kobe Mano's display. In fact, I know you said Bruno is a man in the match for you, but I'd argue Kobe had a better game than Bruno. But if you only watch highlights, if you only watch the moments and rely on moments, you're probably going to think Bruno is the man of the match, because in terms of the moments, he had good crosses, he crossed the ball really well, he had one or two good shots, but man of the match for me, no. I remember him giving the ball away almost for one of Newcastle's goal. He still gives the ball away a bit too much for me, but it is what it is, man. There's a good feeling at the moment. We've won the game. Ten Hag is smiling, hugging Bruno. There's a good feeling in the squad. Let's see what happens, because at the end of the day, a lot of people, a lot of players are supposed to not like Ten Hag and want him out and not be feeling him. So I want to see how the players interact with him today, right now, how they look at him, how they feel. This is gonna be very interesting. Let's see what this guy says, because I've said many times, Ten Hag does not know how to communicate. Let's listen. He's getting booed. He's getting booed. Wow. There's Varane behind him. Oh man, I'm sorry that Varane's gone. Martial was gone. Yeah, he's not a good communicator at all. Like, how can this guy get anything out of footballers and he can't even speak? Win the cup. Win the cup. Yeah. Win the cup. No, sorry. Wait, no, 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 no. Oh, okay. Osman, thanks for joining, my bro. Thanks for joining, my bro. What do you think of the South? No, no, no. See, Osman, allow me. No, Osman, I don't want Gareth. I don't want no. Okay, the only English manager I want are the saucy English managers, the managers that play saucy football, like Potter, maybe. Um, Eddie Howe, maybe. Southgate is a defender, right? He's a defender, and the way he sets up so pragmatically, the football that he plays for England, so boring, so dead, no creativity, no life, no imagination. He's just Mr. Safe, Mr. Safe. I can't have that in my football club, Oz. I can't do it again. I can't have this pragmatism. No, no. The fact that Southgate doesn't even pick some of the best footballers. The fact that Southgate is not picking, or didn't want to pick what's his name? My guy, Greedish, and all of these footballers. I don't trust Southgate's, once again, his ability to identify what is needed or identify talent. When England faced Italy in the flipping final, yeah, England should have slapped Italy. They should have, but they didn't. And I blame what that 100% on Southgate and the football that he's played. He plays for England. He doesn't play good football at all. I can't have Southgate for United. I'm sorry. Don't scare me, because I have to go sleep tonight. And if I wake up in the middle of the night, it's because of you, Oz, trying to scare me with this Southgate stuff. Don't do it, please. Don't do it. Um, who do you want? Who do you want instead of Ten Hag? Like I said, you know what? I want to go back to the Louis Van Gaal, the Louis Van Gaal type of manager, a manager with a philosophy that's new, that's fresh, that's going to get us playing a certain type of football. Like Ten Hag hasn't revolutionized. The problem with Ten Hag is this, right? When Ten Hag came to Manchester United Football Club, we based his managerial credentials, right, on what he was doing with Ajax, right? That's the only That's the only sort of like evidence we had. Ajax. And we forgot that Ajax have their own philosophy. We forget that he couldn't go into Ajax and play anything he wanted. He had to go into Ajax and play Ajax ball. So Ajax ball will always be Ajax ball with or without Ten Hag. And for some reason, we attributed Ajax's football to Ten Hag. Mistake. He's come to Manchester United and he played a certain way the first season. The second season, he tried to do this 3-1-6 formation thing. He tried all of these things and they weren't working. And I said many times about this Ten Hag guy, I would judge him based on what he does or what he thinks is needed to get United to the top. And when he started to go for the Mason Mounts, I thought to myself, no, you can't buy Mason Mount. Yeah, you can't finish third in the league and think Mason Mount is what's needed to make you win the league or take it to the. I don't believe in his talent ID. So I think United need to go back to rather than a manager who buys players and who sits in the boardrooms and tells the team who to buy. We need to go back to getting a coach who deals with the players at hand and improves the players at hand, who has a philosophy. And that is why, for me, I like De Zerbi. I like what he's doing with Brighton. I think if Brighton had better players, they'll be doing a lot better. The football that he's playing with Brighton is really good. His philosophy is really good. In an ideal world, actually, I'd probably have, of course, everyone's talking about Alonso with Bayern Leverkusen. What Alonso is doing with Bayern Leverkusen is an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. They've gone through the whole season domestically and in Europe unbeaten. Just in one season and one season alone with the exact same players, yeah, almost the exact same players that the other manager had in the previous season. He's got them playing a totally different brand of football. Totally different brand. And that's what a manager to come in and say, listen, this is my philosophy, right? This is my philosophy. This is how we're going to play. If you fit this philosophy, good. If you don't, there you go. However, I want a manager who prefers technical footballers rather than playing the guy. Like Garnacho's okay as an impact sub. Last season, when he came on as an impact sub, he was absolutely perfect. Come in, use your little quick feet, run, impact sub. Pace and power, impact sub. But you can't have a player like that start the game. Every single game, 35 games. No. So I just want a coach now. I don't want a manager. I want someone who's more of a coach. Someone who puts his arm around the player, who can break things down to a player and say, this is exactly what I want you to do and why. Listen to how Ten Hag communicates with the crowd. You can't speak. So how is he going to put his arm around me and say, yo, chosen, you play right wing and you must no. I don't even, I don't want to do the voice. I don't even want to do the voice, man. Like, oh yeah, it's it's a pain. It's pain. But yeah, it's very interesting that Ten Hag got booed. Got booed today. Very very interesting. Um, next season, next season, next season. That's all I can think of. Next season. All I can do is hope that this nightmare of a season is ended. Wake up in August, 3 months nap, 3 months nap. Yeah, imagine a 3 months nap. I wake up in August and see De Zerbi, see Sancho back, Sancho on the left, Ahmad on the right, another striker down the middle, Miney behind them, Casking leave. He's another. I don't know. Maybe keep Bruno. Maybe another DM. I don't know. I can't believe they didn't give Marshall a proper send off. He was just standing there. It must be really funny. I just noticed that was the last home game of the season, and the last home game of the season, you're supposed to give players a standoff, and Martial's is there, and Varane are there, both the French players, and they're just I don't know. You can tell they're very close, Varane and Martial. Maybe those two are the players that are pretending that they're injured. But I don't listen. I can be a Man United fan, right, and also be human and also understand what it must be like for them. The problem I have is fans are just fans, and they can only think like fans. It's like, yeah, and they don't want to think like footballers. I'm like, bro, we're all fans, right? But we all go to work. Yes, this is a job that you enjoy more than the usual job, but it's still work. You're still running around for 100 kilometers in 90 minutes. You're still breathing heavily. It's still work. It hurts. And what people need to separate the fact that yes, you're a fan, but these guys are at work. And if you put yourself in their shoes, you would actually make some of the same choices, some of the same decisions they made, you know? But yeah, man, Martial's my baller. I'm sad that he's gone. In terms of how I feel about Martial, I feel like just like many black players who play for Man United in this Brexit world, in this world of, where certain players are looked at certain ways and certain players are protected. The foreign players are usually the ones that are scapegoated, or the players that have a certain complexion are scapegoated. I'm not gonna try to describe that even further because I think most of us who have a common sense, who have a brain, can see that that's definitely the case. I think Martial came in for 3 or 4 seasons. He played on the wing. He was fine. He played under Louis van Gaal on the wings, played really well. Jose came in, disrupted his growth. Jose doesn't grow footballers. Jose, he takes already made footballers and he constructs a good team. But Jose isn't somebody you bring in to mold a young footballer. And first season, Jose, he was fine. The second season, Jose bought Sanchez from Arsenal, I think. Yes. And he played him instead of Martial a lot of the times. That ruined Martial's momentum. Right. And then Ollie came in and he said to Martial, "You are my striker." The first 2 seasons, or the first season under Ollie, Martial was the guy. The way he dropped deep, the way he fed both Greenwood and Rashford. People forget that season when Greenwood was on fire, Rashford was doing well, and Martial was doing his thing, linking up play, chipping goalkeepers, not megging goalkeepers. People forget that. And still, when he was doing those things, people were like, "Oh, we need more goals." People are booing him and saying they wanted more, right? And then he got injured. He's very injury prone, Martial. Let's be honest. He got injured, went out on loan, came back, and he hasn't really played a run of games. But I remember in pre-season how much Ten Hag was singing Martial's praises. I remember the first season, the first 3, 4 months under. People forget, right, that the reason why we played so well, well, I didn't say we didn't play that well, but the reason why we finished in the third position in Ten Hag's first season largely was because of Martial played a good amount of games for Ten Hag. He got injured a lot, but he played a good amount, and every single time Martial touched that pitch, we looked like a better football team. Do not lie. Every single time that guy touched the pitch, we looked like a better football team. People hate Martial because he's injured. His injuries are because he played through injuries. He played through injuries because he wanted to help the team. So this is the guy who's playing through injuries for Ollie, just like Rashford has. Yes, he doesn't get any sympathy, but as soon as Rashford is on a bad, bad is in bad form, for instance, or he's not playing well, Rashford will come out and says, "Oh, my back hurts," or whatever, and everyone will feel sorry for him, right? But Martial's not offered the same. He's not offered the same leeway. He isn't, and it's very weird how he's treated as opposed to Rashford. He's a much better footballer than Rashford. Always has been. Always will be. His injuries has fucked him up. Yes, but I'll always back Martial. I hope he goes on, and I don't know what he's gonna do because his body is made out of glass at this stage. It's funny, both him and Varane, they do receive a lot of injuries, both him and Varane, and I just hope he just goes on and just enjoys the rest of his career. I don't think I think it's good for him to leave. I think it's best for him to leave. But it doesn't change the fact that over his career here, just like Pogba, he's been treated unfairly. Both him and Pogba are the reasons why Ollie saved Ollie's job many, many times. I remember the Ollie's first season, Martial and Pogba together, the way they were playing the one-touch football, it was just beautiful. And people just forget that. People, I don't know what it is about people. People forget all the good stuff and just focus on the bad stuff. Meanwhile, we have a striker called Hojlund, right? Who scored, was it 1 goal in 15, and nobody's talking about it. And if that was Martial, everybody will be talking about it. And that's the point I'm trying to make. The way I see football as equity. I see football in a pure way. So when it comes to rhetoric and PR and all these things that influence the way people see football, I'm dashing that to the side. I'm dashing it. And I'm just gonna just comment on what I see. If I see you playing well, I'm gonna say you played well. Simple as that. So I'm not gonna say it's a shame that Martial didn't have a good career, because you can't blame the fact that he's injured and say he didn't have a good career because he's injury prone. I think he had a good career. He scored important goals for Manchester United. He's won the Europa League. He's won the FA Cup. He's won the Carling Cup. He's won every trophy at Man United except for the league and the Champions League. There's two that's missing. He's had a good career. Has he lived up to the expectation? No. But if you can tell me one player, one single player over the last 8 years, and don't tell me Bruno or anything, because Bruno hasn't either, that's really lived up to the expectation at Manchester United, I'll give you, everyone watching this feed, £100. Nobody has. How can you live up to the expectation when you haven't really been winning? Nobody's really lived up to the hype, but we only pick and choose certain players to say that about. Pogba hasn't lived up, or Martial hasn't lived up to this. Or okay, has Bruno? Has Garnacho? None of these players have. So not Luke Shaw. Nobody. So we have to hold this thing consistent. This United team, since Fergie left, has been poor. Has been bad. Simple as that. I'm a United fan. I'll be honest. It is what it is. Good luck to Varane. Good luck to Martial. You know, and whoever's leaving, good luck to you guys. I don't, as much as I'm, fighting their causes, and I'm telling you guys about who I think has been mistreated and all these things. At the end of the day, if they need to leave, they need to leave, and we need to look to the future. So whoever needs to leave, good luck. I just hope the manager also follows you. That's all I want to say. Ten Hag out. I don't care. I'll keep changing the manager until we get the right one. There's no give him more time, give him 10 years. No, no. If you don't see progression, if you don't see process and progress, why does he deserve more time? What's he done? It's not like he's Ancelotti, or Jose. You give managers with a CV more time. He doesn't even have a CV, this guy. So it is what it is, man. Anyway, guys. Woo! The time is still going. Let me stop this time. What is going on here? Stop in the name of love before we slap Ten Hag. 3-2 to Man United. Thank you guys for joining. It's been a good stream. Hopefully you will join me again. Last game of the season. We'll probably do a watch along. I'll probably be joined with my Arsenal fan friend, my Arsenal fan partner. And last game of the season, we'll probably have a few screens up, maybe watching a few games. It's going to be fun. Join us again. And the last game of the season. When the Europa League starts, we'll probably have a few watch-alongs to some of these games as well. So it's going to be fun, man. Join us. Join the conversation. Get active. Get busy. Share the video. Like the video. Subscribe. New community here. Like I said, we say what we see, not how we feel. And we try to dissect this thing in a logical and a pragmatic way. But yeah. Anyway, man. Thanks for joining, guys. Love, man. Peace. Stop in the name of love.